What's going on, everybody? This is Sam from Skateboard Academy UK, and today I want to talk you guys through the little trick I found with blunt slides, blunt stalls on quarter pipes and all types of blunt tricks. This applies to ledges, quarter pipes, rails and all sorts of things. Now, blunt slides are a bit of a trick that I really enjoy doing and I find them easy. Everyone else seems to tell me that they think blunts are crazy hard, but I don't personally think so, because this is my approach and this is how I think about blunt slides. Let's take a look. Girls, I'm not a weirdo, I'm just filming a how-to video, okay? So that's why I'm talking to myself. Okay, so here's a quarter pipe. This is the first obstacle I learned to do blunts on, and basically with blunt stalls, all you really want to focus on is kind of hitting that balance point there, where the tail is actually below the coping. I'm gonna move my shadow out the way. The board is obviously on top, but you want to keep your tail below the coping there. If you slip out too far, you've lost the pinch. You've lost that ability to pinch the blunt and press your foot on the tail to hold it in place. And that's step one of understanding blunt stalls. As you can see with the blunt stalls, I ride up fast, enough speed that I could go on the deck, but I keep my weight back, I lean out of the quarter pipe, and I just plant my back foot on the tail and make sure to press down into the coping, keeping myself in that balancing point, keeping control of the board, not letting the nose drop too much. So I keep my foot on the tail, aiming the board to the sky, and when I'm ready, I pop it backwards. This applies exactly the same to blunt slides on ledges, and this is obviously a little curb. The same thing applies. The board balances in this position. Your back foot being on that tail there holds the blunt in position. If you lean too far over the nose, the blunt's going to slip out. If you lean too much on the tail, the board goes too vertical. And it's basically a case of just ollieing into blunts and keep going until you feel that you can hit that balance point where you know how much pressure to put on your front and your back foot. Okay, so if you've never done a blunt slide before, you're going to find it quite scary. I wouldn't advise coming in too fast or anything. The speed is what you're going to need if you want to actually slide lengthways. But to just practice landing in position, you can kind of come in at an almost dead on angle and just balance landing there and step off. Just to get used to that feeling of landing with your wheels up here and your tail poking down here. Again, in that teetering ability to press your weight on the tail. It's actually much harder to hold the balance when you're not sliding. The blunt is much easier when you're traveling. It's like trying to stall a board slide in a rail. You just wobble and fall off. But if you're sliding, there's something about going at speed that helps you keep your balance. So don't be afraid and don't be concerned if you can't hold your balance in a blunt stall on the curb. That's really hard. Go parallel, try and get a slide on. You just got to make sure that the curb or whatever you're sliding is nice and slippery with some wax or whatever you're going to use. The sun is really bright today and it's casting a really long shadow, which is really weird for filming. So if you can blunt slide a little curve like this, and you can normally ollie onto ledges that are a bit higher, then you can probably have a go of this. Make sure you get on, stall that blunt. With blunt slides on high ledges like this, I sometimes like to lean back a little bit so my body weight stays out here. That helps me keep pressure on my tail and basically keep balance, keep that lock on that blunt. Remember, you can step off the blunt if it slips away, or you didn't lock into it properly, or you had too much weight on the front, or the tail didn't lock, or whatever happens. Just run out of the blunt slide and leave your board behind. So I've locked into the blunt. Now it's just a case of going faster, which, as I said, will allow me to reach the end of the ledge and keep my balance. So the trick to getting out of blunt slides is you just twist. It's just like a board slide. Once you reach this end, you just twist your arms, twist your body, fall off the end, and just land. Vaults. Pretty simple, self-explanatory. So give it a go. Try doing a stall on a blunt, keeping that tail below the lip and using the pressure on your feet to kind of teeter and keep that balance point. If you want to balance, it's actually easier to go faster. And once you reach the end, just twist and land and roll away. So thank you for watching. I hope that was helpful to some people. This wasn't so much of a tutorial. It was just a little bit of a tip on how to kind of lock into blunt stalls and blunt slides. And I suppose a bit of a psychological trick on how to trick yourself into trying things. Sometimes you don't have to actually go for the slide, the full version. You can just try a little version, like we talked about with the actual stall instead of the slide. Learn the stall, have a little go, just to reassure yourself that you can perform that movement, and then go for it. Give yourself that bit of confidence, bit of speed, and you should be good to go. Give us a shout if that helped you with your blunt stalls or blunt slides. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Please subscribe, really helps the channel out. Leave a comment, like the video, bell notification, all that stuff that YouTubers say about, really helps us as well as a brand. Follow us on socials and just tag us in your videos. Really nice to see all the progress everyone's making as the weather improves and everyone's finding a new passion and a new love for skateboarding again, or for the very first time. So cheers, thanks for watching, see you soon.